Today's ruling Al Nahyan family emerged as the chiefs of the Baniyas. The first known Al Nahyan Sheikh was called Falah. He was from Albu Falah section of the tribe. One of his four sons, Nahyan, then succeeded him. Then perhaps in the early 18th century, Nahyan's son Isa became the Baniyas Sheikh. From now on, the history of the Baniyas became clearer.
A few decades later, after Sheikh Diyab had succeeded his father, Sheikh Isa, the Baniyas moved to occupy the island of Abu Dhabi. The date that is commonly associated with this move is 1761.
A well-known story attributes this move to hunters having followed a gazelle from the coast across a shallow inlet to a spring on the island of Abu Dhabi. The tribesmen returned to Liva and told Sheikh Diyab of their discovery. He then ordered a settlement built on the island. This story provides the origin for the name of Abu Dhabi, that is, the father of or possession of the gazelle.
The move to Abu Dhabi was very wise, as it was close to the Pearl Banks. The Baniyas began to grow as an economic and maritime power.
It was also easily defended as the island was separated from the mainland by a creek. The tower at Makta, restored by Sheikh Zayed in 1969, was used for this purpose. The tower served to control the access to the island of Abu Dhabi. It marked the tribe's control over the island and their intentions to establish their seat of power there. In 1795, Sheikh Shakbat bin Diyab succeeded his father as ruler and moved his headquarters from Liva to Abu Dhabi. Sheikh Shakbat established a fort on the island. This was to become the first part of the building that today is known as Qasr al-Husn. In a map from the 1830s, the fort is very clearly indicated in the position in which it still stands today.
Establishment of Abu Dhabi as the center of Al Nahyan power was critical to their success in the coming centuries.
Qasr al-Husn became the center for community consultation and political discussion. Important decisions like the signing of the first oil concessions were made here. One of the first actions of Sheikh Shakbat was to establish a fort on the island. This building became the first component of Qasr al-Husn, the center of Al Nahyan power. Treaties. In January 1820, the General Maritime Treaty was signed between the British and the rulers of several of the emirates. An original copy was signed on the beach at Ras Al Khaimah, and then additional rulers signed. These included the Sheikhs of Ras Al Khaimah, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman and Al Quwain. For Abu Dhabi, the document was signed by Sheikh Shakbat bin Diyab on behalf of his son, who became ruler in 1818. The aim of this treaty was to further British control of shipping, but it also provided for an expansion of pearling and trade by the rulers of the Emirates. This treaty also included a commitment to prohibit maritime transport of slaves long before the practice was abolished in many other countries. One result of the General Maritime Treaty was the development of closer relations between two tribal groupings of the Baniyas and the Qasim. They were to grow in power and play a critical role in the development of the modern state. Throughout the 19th century, the foundations of the modern country were being laid. The leader of each group, the Sheikh, ruled in consultation with other members of his family and key individuals in the community. Open meetings were held to discuss key issues. In times of war, the Sheikh could call on his people to form a fighting force as there was no army at the time. This system of government set the foundation for the way the country is. This system of government set the foundation for the way the country is ruled today. To succeed, the sheikhs needed to consult with and have the support of the people. All of the ruling families of the UAE can trace their origins to at least the 18th century, which means that today's ruling families have led the people of the Emirates for over 200 years. Qasr al-Husn became the center for community consultation and political discussion. Number 1. When and why did the Baniyas move to the island of Abu Dhabi? In year 1761, because it was close to the Pearl Banks and easily defended as the island was separated from the mainland by a creek. Number 2. What is the origin of Abu Dhabi's name? A well-known story attributes this move to hunters having followed a gazelle from the coast across a shallow inlet to a spring on the island of Abu Dhabi. The tribesmen returned to Liva and told Sheikh Diab of their discovery. He then ordered a settlement built on the island. Number 3. What was the consequence of settling in Abu Dhabi? The Baniyas began to grow as an economic and maritime power. It was also easily defended as the island was separated from the mainland by a creek. Number 4. What was the original function of Qasr al-Husn? Defending the island and control access to the island of Abu Dhabi.